Hello everyone, it's Joan from Britical Saiyans here, and today we're going to have a look at the Beerus deck profile. So Beerus is quite an interesting leader to begin with. So it's auto. When this card attacks, if you have 3 or more energy, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 2 or less and KO it. And then at 4 life you can draw 2 to awaken into Beerus God Destruction. His auto stays fairly similar. So when this card attacks, draw a card, then choose one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or less and KO it. It's his active main ability, which is what makes him stand out as a energy ramping deck. So active main, tap 16 energy, switch this card to rest mode, you win the game. So you just auto win as long as you're on 16 energy and you don't swing the Beerus. So it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but with a little bit of ramping, shouldn't be too difficult. So let's begin. So it starts from the extra cards. We have 2 copies of Zeno Button. This is a 0 cost extra card. So counter attack, switch all of your blue energy to active mode. This deck is mono blue, so switch everything back, and as you know, since we're aiming for 16, that's a lot of energy we can reclaim. Moving on to the 1 cost, we have 2 copies of Sensu Bean. So Sensu Bean, fairly essential card in any blue deck. Active battle, choose it from one of your cards. It gains 5 power for the duration of the turn, then choose 2 of your energy and switch them to active. So it basically, in a sense, you pay nothing, you get back energy and gain power, which is really nice. So finally, in the 1 cost, we have 4 copies of Whist's Coercion, because as you all know, Whist's Coercion is really good for blue. Tap 1, negate the attack, choose an energy, untap it. So you just, essentially, if your opponent knows what you're going to do with this card, you can just play it. You don't have to muck around the energy. Saves you time. We have 3 copies of Mafuba. So Mafuba, relic free, because if we see it early we can charge it, and we want to see it because it's just really good. So counter battle card attack, negate the attack, and then you place this on top of the attacking card. At the end of your opponent's next turn, you put this into the drop area, but whilst it's on top, the card can't use any of its abilities. It can still go into active mode, but that's it. And then finally we have 2 copies of Objection. So this is where I probably get a bit of controversy, because in Beerus it's all about your energy. It's like, well, why didn't you run 4? I don't run 4 because I don't want to clog with objections. I'm only ever going to use it once or twice, especially with some of the cards in here that can just place energy for you. And it's just a good card, and I think you can run it 2 easily. So moving on to the battle cards, and starting with 1-drops, we have 3 copies of Bulma God Tempter. So Bulma isn't anything too special. Her auto is when you play this card, choose up to 1 Whis with an energy cost of 4 or less from your deck, add it to your hand, shuffle deck. So it searches you out of Whis, and there is 2 types for that in this deck. And finally in the 1-drops we have 3 copies of Universe 10 Supreme Kali Gawasu. So Gawasu is another 1-drop that has the auto ability of, when you play this card, look at top 3 cards, choose up to 1 god, add it to your hand and shuffle. So being as this deck uses a lot of gods, it just lets you search for pretty much any battle card you want, which is useful. Going into the 2-drops, we have our standard of 4 of the super combo, in this case boost attack Piccolo. So the whole, if you lose blue, if you fall less life, draw a card, gain 10,000 combo power. Always run super combos at 4. We have 2 copies of Unyielding Spirit Trunks. So during your turn, when you combo with this card, if your leader is blue, choose it from one of your energy and switch it to active mode. And obviously this deck's going to have a lot of energy, so it's got a lot of play. And finally we have 2 copies of Warrior of the Gods, Goku Black. So as you can guess by the fact that he's in here, there's something else that's going to be in this deck that's nasty. He has the point of, if Zamasu is in your battle area, this card can't be carried by a card effect, your opponent's card effects, and does not leave the battle area due to skills. So your opponent can't carry it through skills, they just have to beat him up. Moving on to the free drops, we have 2 copies of Further Instruction Champer. So this again is like the core card of the game. When you combo with this card, choose one of your attacking cards against double strike for the duration of battle. So it's pressure, which is why we like to run it. Simple as. And finally, in the free drops, we have 2 copies of Raging Spirit Son Gohan. Not vital to the deck, just there as a nice little bit of shield and an extra card to attack with. Because at the end of the battle, after you combo with this card, if your leader is blue, play it in rest mode. But only from hand, gotta remember that. So moving on to the 4 drops, we have 3 copies of Energy Boost Beerus. So I could run 4, but So he says double strike, and when you play this card, if you have 5 or more energy, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and carry that card. So obviously very easy to use this skill on this deck, because it's all about ramping energy. So, and if you do it well enough, you can play him like turn 3 or turn 2 if you're lucky. But don't quote me on that. Next we have 2 copies of Overflowing Spirit, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Son Goku, blue. So he is critical, and during your turn if you have 5 more energy, gains 10,000 power. So it's a 25 crit. Again, relies on high energy, but that's fine, we're covered for this. There's 3 copies of Whis the Resting Attendant and 4 copies of Whis the Sacred Guard. So covering them together because they're both Whis. So Resting Attendant, let's turn this up like this. So Resting Attendant, when it comes into play, add 1 card from the top of your deck to energy. So it's just a nice little bit of ramp, and then afterwards you combo fodder. And the Sacred Guard having blocker, and the permanent skill of this card cannot be carried by your opponent's skills or leave the battle area due to skills. So kind of like our 2-drop Goku Black, only we don't need a Zamasu. And finally, speaking of which, in the 4 drops we have 2 copies of Zamasu the Invincible. Again, you can guess why this is in here. He has Indestructible, and opponent skill, if your leader is Zamasu or Goku Black, you reduce the energy cost of this in-hand barrier by 1, but we're not in it for the permanent skill. So, jumping to the 7 drop, we have a singular copy of Zeno the Plain God. So Zeno is quite a fun card. I only run it 1 because I like it. It's kind of self-explanatory why you don't need multiple copies. So when you play this card, negate all other battle card skills, then choose all cards in both players' hands as well as their battle cards and return to their decks. Shuffle the decks, and then both players draw 5, and any cards that have cards stacked on them, the stacked cards just go to the drop. So if you've done like a Pretorial or Fusion or whatever, anything underneath just goes, and you get the big guy back in the deck. He has 0 cost combo, so useless combo because it gives no power as well. And yeah, only run 1 because not only will he put himself back in the deck, but it's kind of like a, am I going to die this turn if he has everything out? Yes, okay, get rid of it all. So you don't want to run too many. Going into the 10 drops, we have 2 copies of Infinite Force Fuse the Marsu. Oh my god, who would have guessed this was in the deck? Oh, it's not like it's been settled or anything. So, here's the Eden Pretoria Fusion on Goku Clark and Zamasu for 7. Indestructible, so nothing gets rid of him. And when this card attacks, choose up to 1 card from each of your opponent's battle area, battle cards only, energy, life and hand, place them to the bottom of the deck in any order. So we can straight out play him for 10 because this is a energy based deck, so we put a lot of energy in, but the fact that he can get rid of stuff is why we run him, and he's a god, so he's up for that side of the deck, plus he's just a good win con. And finally, in the 12 drops, we have 2 copies of Whis, Judge of Gods. So this is quite a interesting and nasty card to go up against. So he has 40k power and quadruple strike, so he takes away 4 life if he hits. His deployment skill, this card's attacks and skills cannot be negated. So you can just swing with him and your opponent has to combo out of it. And the ultra ability of, when you play this card, if your leader is Beerus, after your current turn ends, take another turn. So you pay 12 energy, again, not difficult on this deck. You swing 40 quadruple strike, your opponent guards it or takes it because they can for some reason. And then you skip their turn, go straight back into yours. So you do the standard untap, draw, charge if you want to. Probably are going to, in case you can get this off. And then you go again. Like, it's only for the 1 turn, I do believe. But say you have 1 in hand, you play it that turn. Next turn that you steal, you play another one. Your opponent has to survive 3 of your turns consecutively, and you reap all the benefits. So it's a pretty horrible card. Only good for Beerus though. So yeah. And anyway, so that is my Beerus deck profile. And as always, thank you for watching.